Hello, everyone, and welcome to something new. I'm Jonathan Sakaguchi. Joining me, my fellow sports fanatic Doug Glackey, and we're going to be talking a little bit of baseball, some Pirate stuff with the draft coming up. Talk a little trade rumors as well as talking about the MLB Draft that's coming up. And if you've been living under a rock for the past month, MLB Stickygate is what they're calling it. Talking about all the pitchers using foreign substances. But let's get this started. Dougie, how you doing today, man?
Good, buddy. Good. I'm about to throw my Pirates jersey on.
All right.
Which one? I'm sorry that I have to give everybody PTSD, but you know.
Oh, probably the worst trade in Pirates history is.
Well, yeah. I think I don't know if I was talking about with you last night or one of my buddies. Them having Austin Meadows to play right field right now would be fantastic.
I think that probably makes the team probably has won at least a few more games than what they have already.
And it's not even that. Like, there's so many people who want to move O'Neal Cruz to the outfield. It's like, why would you want to move a 6'7" behemoth out of that shortstop position? Because, like, you see what Fernando Tatis is able to do on cutoff throws, where he's throwing like 95, 96 mile an hour on cutoff throws, and they're just absolute darts. That's what O'Neal Cruz is going to do.
I was going to say that guy can throw literal bullets about as good as a pitcher that can throw 100 miles an hour or can from shallow left or center field.
Yeah, and the big thing is having a power hitting shortstop right in the middle of your lineup to go with. I mean, obviously we're getting like big picture and big speculation, but like to go with like Key Bryan Reynolds, Mason Martin's going to be up in the big show at some point. Nick Gonzalez, go with all those guys that are going to be the net part of your next core. That's huge, man. It's like, yeah, he'll probably be the cleanup hitter, but like he could easily be like that 5'6" hitter like Pedro Alvarez was, except he's actually going to bring you real production.
Right, because not to give anybody PTSD from that era with Pedro Alvarez. I mean, granted, when he first came up, I thought he was probably one of the most dominant power hitting third baseman in the game. Like I put him in a class with at that time, and the top third baseman in the league we're still talking about a old Chipper Jones that could still tear the cover off the ball and play third base like it was nobody's business, as well as why am I drawing a blank on his name? He was with the Mets.
David Wright.
Thank you, David Wright. Hey, and there was a lot of the guys that were like that around at the time, and he kind of fell off after a couple of years. But I think with O'Neal Cruz and company coming up through the minor league system, the Pirates are probably going to have a core that's going to be built to ready to go coming up from AAA Indianapolis and AA Altoona. Probably within the next, my best guess is going to be within the next 2 to 3 years. However, in conversations we've had, Dougie, you think otherwise. You're thinking a little bit sooner.
Well, I think 2 to 3 years for it all to come together. They're going to have the lineup together before they have the pitching, in my opinion. Because with the pitching, I've only seen 2 or 3 guys that have come up and made starts at the big league level so far that I could see being a part of the next pitching rotation. JT Brubaker is going to be in it. Miguel Yajure is probably going to be your like 2-3 starter. And then I think Max Kranick is like a 4-5 starter, would be something worth building upon.
I can see that.
I want to see more starts from him. I want to see more out of Max Kranick now than I do want to see out of like a Will Crow. I think they need to send Crow down to Indianapolis again and try and just get him working and try and figure stuff out, because I know they were doing the same thing with Mitch Keller, and that's been working to an extent, but you know, you gotta figure that out. But as of right now, like big notable prospects that are projected to be up in next season in 2022, Nick Gonzalez is projected to be up. O'Neal Cruz will probably make the opening day roster, be pretty darn close to it. And same with Travis Swaggerty. You know, he'll be up at some point next year as well, which is it's massive. You know, the lineup's already decent as is, and we're throwing Ben Gamels and John Nagowski's of the world out there consistently every single night, and they're still coming through.
Yeah, and you brought up Ben Gamble or the big game that he had last night. 2 home runs, a double RBI double. I mean, that guy just looked like he was untouchable last night. And then the Pirates come out this afternoon doing absolutely soiled the bed sheets, and it just looking like the Pirates that they've been all year, losing 14-3 to the Atlanta Braves. Something else I'm going to talk to you about, Dougie. You're talking about the prospects and everybody that's coming through the system. Let's go straight to the draft. We'll talk about that out here. The Pirates have the first overall pick. A lot of different names have been thrown around. You and I have had this conversation a couple different times of who I think they should go for. Your opinion, who do you think the Pirates should be drafting on the 11th?
The Yinzer in me wants Henry Davis, the catcher from Louisville. I've had this conversation a lot of they have literally everything they need for their next contending window except for a catcher. And, you know, that's something they could obtain in a trade, but like I'd draft Henry Davis, because you have to think of it this way, Johnny. By the time their next contending window comes up, Jake Stallings is going to be old. He's probably going to be like 34, 35 years old in probably a Chris Stewart type of role where he's just a backup catcher. They need to find somebody who's capable of replacing him, and, you know, not even capable of replacing him, but capable of coming up and running with him until the end of his career or his potential departure in Pittsburgh, in order for them to continue, or in order for them to succeed in this next wave. You know, because the big thing that hurt them in the last contending window was that Tony Sanchez was not all he was cracked up to be.
No, I think that was probably one of the letdowns to the Pirates that during that time.
Yeah.
Was not having a true everyday catcher, I guess, and you're trotting out there Tony Sanchez and Jacob Stallings.
Yeah. You know, and the big issue was, you know, they had nobody to replace Russell Martin. I think the whole idea was going to be Tony Sanchez was going to replace Russell Martin, and that was the way they were going to go. But, you know, then they were able to trade for Cervelli, you know, and they ran him for a couple of years, and then Elias Diaz came around, and now we have Jacob Stallings. So, I don't know. It all worked out in the end, but still.
Yeah, and I mean, there was other guys that was in the system that traded, like Reese McGuire is another one that the Pirates had drafted. We never got to even see him. He got traded off to Toronto with
Liriano to facilitate that cap dump, or to facilitate that salary dump.
Yeah.
But the thing is with Reese, man, like, he hasn't really done anything. Like, he's just kind of been like there. So it doesn't hurt that bad. It doesn't suck that bad. So
yeah, it was one of those things like it was still one of the things you wondered what if. And when the trade was down at that time, I think all of us were saying what if.
And it's so funny that, you know, whenever Reese McGuire and Austin Meadows got drafted the same year, we were like, all right, we are set for life. And now we're playing what if with both of them.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, could you obviously I'm not going to keep dwelling on this because I personally hate dwelling on it. I hate talking about it. But could you imagine if they had Swaggerty, Reynolds, and Meadows in the outfield for the next contending window?
I'd say that it would probably be one of the top 3 outfields in Major League Baseball, if not the top outfield then.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it rivals Marte, Kutch, and Polanco,
Which was, at the time, the fastest outfield in all of Major League Baseball between those 3. I mean, for Kutch was on a level where he had this smooth swing that it seemed anytime you threw a ball his way, he was going to hit it. Marte, what can I say about that guy? I watched this dude literally he just jog over to a ball that I got in the corner in left field and just casually throw it in and still gun the runner out at third base on a bullet. And it didn't even look like he tried on that throw. And then you have Polanco, who, well, I mean, it is what it is.
Hey, man, he stuck it out the most out of the 3.
Yeah, I
That's all that matters. He's still here, dude.
The most out of the 3 of them.
Yeah, he's still here.
I wish he panned out a little bit better. I wish whenever he gets on them hot streaks where he is hitting everything and anything into the outfield and putting it over or near the Allegheny, I get a little bit of hope that it's gonna stay. But then 3, 4, 5 games later, we're back to the Gregory Polanco we know. But I do agree. I think that's probably going to be your core. Now, that's something I also wanted to talk to you about Dougie. As I know we're getting ready to come up on the trade deadline, but who is your core players that is on the current roster right now that you are building around, that is on the right now all on the Pirates roster? And I'm not talking about the guys in Indy, Bradenton, Altoona, and Greensboro.
Brian Reynolds and Brian Hayes.
That's about the only 2 I can say.
And I can see making the case for keeping Frazier around, but dude, that guy's value is never going to be higher. You're going to be able to cash in big time for him at the trade deadline.
That was what I was getting ready to say. And the other thing is, we're also going to be looking at a guy that's going to be near creeping up on 30 about the time that core is up here. If I'm looking at this correctly, looking up the Pirates roster right now. Yeah, he'll be almost 30. Actually, no. Oh, by the time the Pirates
he is 30, basically.
Yeah, he'll be about 30 years old. Close to 30.
He'll be 33 whenever they're contending again.
Yeah, by the time that we have the roster that we are really wanting, the Pirates.
And why do you want him to be the one that's the Garrett Jones figure?
Yeah,
no. If we're keeping anybody around for the long haul that's going to be the team dad in the end, it's probably going to be Stallings.
I could see that where Jacob Stallings is. He's the one guy that comes off the bench for a pinch hitter, and that's pretty much the gist of it. He does nothing else but that.
Yeah.
The other thing is who do you look at starting for the bullpen, the rotation, because I know that's gonna be another thing we have to look into. Right now, I'd say probably the best pitcher in the entire Pirates rotation has to be Tyler Anderson.
Yeah, and that's somebody you're unloading at the deadline.
Yeah.
You made it work with him. He did great in the first half. Unload him to a contender and recoup assets.
I think he's going to get you a decent return here in the next few in the next few days or so. So I'd
Yeah,
also,
and I mean, same thing for Richard Rodriguez, man. That's going to be somebody that they're going to part with. Um, you can see already that the Blue Jays have interest in him, and that they've already been scouting him. So he's probably a lock to go there or to another big contender. So ship him out, make it work, make it happen. You know,
so yeah. Now, here's the other thing, Dougie. I don't know if you heard this rumor. Was the White Sox were in on Adam Frazier,
yes.
and what they were looking at was that rookie first baseman they have. He's currently coming off the bench for the Sox and playing right field for him when he does stay in a game. I can't think of his name. I'm going to look it up here real quick.
I know who you're talking about though, because I know who tweeted about it.
Because he actually it was one of the bigger name guys. Uh, Andrew Vaughn.
Okay, interesting, interesting.
He's
Also, off topic, obviously completely different sports, but fun fact: Vladimir Tarasenko just requested a trade out of St. Louis.
We'll have to say that for another day. As a hockey thing, which
Tune into For Checking TV next week, where I will find a way for him to be a Penguin.
I may have to join in on that one because you have my attention now on that, Dougie. Yeah, but let's get back to the baseball talk here. So Andrew Vaughn, he's what I refer to as one of the true first basemen, and as a left hand, he's a I don't know, he's not on a true first baseman. He's a right hand throw, right handed bat. Secondary position is left field for him. So this is the guy that the Pirates were looking at in the deal. It was him, and it was another prospect to come from the south side of Chicago. But we're gonna
I'm
hold
not big on it.
not big on it. And
No, why would you trade for another Colin Moran? We already traded for a Colin Moran, and we saw how that worked.
yeah, fair enough.
That's my only thing, man. And plus, like, we have a first base prospect who's close to fully developed. I'm sure he's gonna get called up to AAA within the next like 2 to 3 weeks here because he's hit like 15 homers in AA.
I think I know who you're referring to in this case.
Mason Martin.
Yeah, Mason Martin. I think you're going to see him and O'Neal Cruz getting the call up to AAA, Indy.
Mm-hmm.
That kid from South Korea.
What?
I think the three guys that are going to end up moving from Altoona to Indy.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be probably Mason Martin and O'Neal Cruz and this Jai Hwan Bay.
Oh, I didn't know that he was in Altoona. That's interesting.
Yeah, he started the season in Altoona this year.
Okay.
Played a couple games down in down for Bradenton, but that was just because of a rehab stint. But he is currently active on the Altoona Curve roster.
Another one that might make it up there would be the pitcher Ronzi Contreras.
Yeah, Contreras has been definitely having a year for him down there.
He's been lights out. But him and O'Neal Cruz are both currently on the IL right now. So, that's something to watch. They both have forearm strains. So hopefully they're okay. And it's not anything that's going to linger for them.
All right. So a little info on about Bay, the guy from I was talking about with the curve.
Mhm.
Currently, so it's not giving me his current season stats. This is his all time minor league stats. He's played in he's had 562 at bats, 118 runs scored, 170 hits, one homer, 57 RBIs, 46 stolen base. It is he's hitting 302 with an oh yeah OPS of 784. So he's like one of your off the bench guys or your plug and play guys, as you and I refer to him.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, and those guys are important, but like at the same time, it's like, you know, nothing really to get too hype about, you know.
Right.
Like I talked to you about it yesterday when we were talking about like why are they looking at like these high school shortstops and stuff, and it's like, you know, you can't put all your eggs in one egg basket. Like I think they did the same did that with Kevin Newman and Cole Tucker, and it's blown up in their face. Um, they're both probably going to end up. Well, they're both not going to be part of the core, and they're probably both going to end up moving on at some point in the next year or so because they both have been underwhelming.
Yeah. I had high hopes for Cole Tucker when he first came up here. Him and Newman, and I can have personal stories that I tell a lot with these guys because making so many trips to Altoona, and you get to talk, you meet these guys all the time,
Exactly.
and you get to talk. Unlike like in Major League Baseball, where you're further away from these guys, you're up close and personal watching these games with them. I follow these guys from down in Morgantown with the Black Bears before they joined the draft league, and I went and watched them up in Altoona. And one story I tell a lot, and I think I've told you this one. And so Newman came up was talking with me and HJ during one of the games I was up there, and he like 2 for 2 on the day. Hit one to left, hit one to center, and he goes, Where should I hit this one?" I said, "Well, you only need to hit to right, hey, to complete the hat trick." He puts one off the roller coaster.
Yeah.
So it was that's what I tell all about it, and I'm just like, I watch these guys because I want to see if I can figure out who's going to make the major league roster and who's not. And pretty much with the Pirates minor league system, Newman, you also have to think Newman, Kramer, Cole Tucker was there, or he was getting bounced between in AAA Indy and Double A Altoona. It was during that time where he was up and down between the two. Trying to think who else was there. I think that was also the time. Mitch Keller was pitching there too at that time,
Yeah.
and that was the first time I saw Mitch Keller pitch up there. He had a no hitter going into the sixth, and then some kid from I forget who they were playing. I think it was Trenton at that time. Just comes up and hits a blind eye single through there to ruin it. And I was like, yeah. Anyway, I need to get back on topic, Dougie. There's some other names being thrown around on Major League Baseball for the Pirates. Um, one of those names being Brian Reynolds. Now, if you're the Pirates, are you listening on a deal with him? Or are you saying he's not up for grabs?
I'm not listening to anything on him. Because my big thing is this is you've already moved enough of the guys that could have been a part of your next contending window. The last thing you need to do is move Brian Reynolds. Like, you know, and everybody's gonna say, oh, they need to trade him, they need to do this, they need to do that. And it's like, with the exception of a pandemic shortened season, he's proved nothing more than the fact that he's a consistent 300 hitter.
Yeah,
You need that in your lineup night in and night out.
yeah,
And unfortunately, there's a lot of people within the city that keeps shouting into the void saying that he needs to go. But it's like, you know, it's tough because like, you know, a lot of those people that are saying those things are strictly Steelers guys and only know anything about the Steelers. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, it's Trade Reynolds is going to turn into the Pirates version of Trade Mullen. It should never happen.
Right. Hey, I'm looking here. Here, Reynolds is only a year younger than me. He's 20.
Mm-hmm.
By the time they're contending again, he's probably going to be 28, 29, somewhere in that time frame. So he's not going to be. He's just going to be entering his prime, if not already in his prime years.
Yeah,
So
I mean, and that's the thing is he's so young. He came up at such a young age. He came up at the same time Cole Tucker did, and all he did that first year was hit, and blow the McCutcheon trade out of the water.
yeah, everyone was because I remember, or everyone was up in arms about that, and here come the Pirates. It's with those guys, and they just done something amazing with it.
I
Now,
mean, buddy, Kyle Crick's still pitching for him.
yeah,
Like that's huge. And who's to say that at some point they don't move Kyle Crick out for something about it?
well, I mean, that's what I was going to even say. Hey, how do we know he's not going to be gone at the deadline? And here,
I think for whatever reason, man, I feel like he's one of the ones that's going to stick around at least another year.
I
The
think,
issue is they need to still have bullpen guys.
yeah. Well,
Like their bullpen cannot consist of like
Chris Stratton and
50,
Kyle.
50 million Jeff Hartleys.
I mean, there's some guys I think you're probably going to see he stay in here, and I think Ink Underwood, who's been in low
Yeah.
key decent for the Pirates, and everyone that thinks otherwise, well,
Sam Howard.
Sam Howard, that's another good one.
Sam Howard came up last summer. I had no idea who he was. He's actually pretty all right, pretty decent dude. And then
David Bednar has been another
yeah,
one. Who his
dude, I
brother
wanted them.
won
Listen, buddy,
series with Mississippi State.
I wanted the brother in like the compensatory round, and now he's like pitched himself into the top 10 of the draft. So it sucks.
Yeah, it is what it is. There's not much we can sit and do about it. Um, and that's what the thing too. But here's the other thing, Dougie. You and I have talked baseball before. We know how these draft stocks change. Even though he's pitched himself over into a top 10 spot, doesn't mean he's going to go there. But I
I
guarantee
mean, look,
first round.
just because Kumar Rocker was the consensus number one overall pick for a better part of 2 years, doesn't mean he's not falling out of the top five.
Yeah.
So right now, he's currently projected to go 7th overall to Kansas City.
Yeah. So moving on to the next subject, Dougie, because we've pretty much covered every other topic we wanted to talk about. Kind of, as the Pirates are one of those things we can literally flow into one to the next, and that's been in the Stickygate thing and going on. For those of you that don't know what's going on about that, and you should by now, the Pirates, I don't think fell victim of this, but we know a lot of other pitchers did. A lot of former Pirate pitchers did, and that being of the Spider Tech stuff.
It's funny how the two most entitled ones
Yeah,
fell victim of it. It's incredible. I love it. It couldn't have happened to two better people.
Tyler Glass now. The two pitchers left Pittsburgh and ended up being these dominant forces can't seem to hit the broadside of a barn door now.
Not even just left Pittsburgh and became dominant forces. They left Pittsburgh, talked horrible about the organization, and then just went and dominated.
And one of them came this close to winning a World Series.
People
came back close.
I saw a tweet that said the Pirates win the World Series in 2015 if Spider Tech is outlawed, and that's not true. We all know that Jake Arrieta was doctoring in some way, shape, or form.
We all know he was doctoring.
But Garrett Cole, man, no way that we get out of that game. Still,
even if Jake Arrieta wasn't doctoring the ball, that, and I still guarantee he probably strikes out 10 Pirate, or it's only gives up 3 runs and on 6 hits.
I mean, Sean Rodriguez started that game.
Because Clint Hurdle wanted to play the defensive game and realized
Clint Hurdle should have been fired after that wild card game, and you cannot convince me otherwise. We went on this horrible little run here up until they finally fired the entire old regime. But like the truth is, Clint Hurdle should have been fired after like arguably the 2014 wild card game.
that was the one with the Giants, correct?
Yeah, but setting it up where you were going to start Anderson Volquez was just asinine.
Because you started Garrett Cole and AJ Burnett at 2 days, like earlier on in the week.
Well, he was trying to win the division.
Yeah, which at that point in time, and I was there for that part, or because I was there for the doubleheader against the Cardinals that went into that.
Oh, dude, I was there for that too. Actually, wait, no. That was in 2015.
Series.
Because remember, Jeff Locke and Charlie Morton pitched back to back, and they blew the division. Yeah,
that's right. The following year was a doubleheader against the Cardinals, and if the Pirates won 2 of them, they still had a shot at winning the division. But if they lost either of those games, they were screwed, and that's exactly what happened.
they lost both of them.
No, they won game 1, but they lost the most important one of game 2.
Okay.
And a heartbreaker of a 7-6 loss to the Cardinals.
It's crazy, man.
Where, once again, the Pirates got screwed on play at home.
Yeah, it's crazy. But, yeah, man, I think they're in a good spot moving forward, you know? I think, really the only thing they have left to figure out is pitching. And you can figure that out in trades.
Trades and free agency. You literally can.
I mean, they're going to sign guys when the time comes, because their payroll is going to be so low that they're going to be able to commit money to guys and all that. Because, I mean, outside of Hayes and Reynolds, who else is going to be on the roster that is going to command big money or not under arbitration rights or team control?
That's pretty much it. It's everyone's going to be under rookie contracts. There's not going to be much there, so you can pretty much go out and get your starters and your probably even your closer.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
$1,000.
David Bednar gives me like major Mark Melancon vibes. I think he could stick around and be like a huge part of the back end of that bullpen.
Yeah, if you ask me, I think Bednar or JT Brubaker, Chase DeYoung, and Dwayne Underwood Jr. are going to be the guys that are going to be sticking around here for a while for the Pirates.
Yeah. JT Brubaker is going to be big in that rotation. I mean, for whatever reason, he has it. He's probably not going to be your ace, but he's a really good. He's like a Trevor Williams. Like he can be your 3, 4, or 5 guy on any given day and give you a really positive return.
I agree with that, and I think we're going to see some different stuff going on here with the Pirates in the near future. But time will tell. Well, that's going to do it for this week, folks. Dougie, I think we're going to do this again and probably after the draft, right?
We can do that, yeah.
All right, so we'll do one after the draft, and we'll do one right before the trade deadline, or if something happens with the Pirates between now and then. So until next time, and for Doug Glackey, I'm John Sakaguchi, signing off, guys. Until next time.